My name is Daniel D. Hollander, and I am the Director of Career Development in the Center for Experience and Opportunity.
How do you think that diversity, equity, and inclusion impacts your daily life working here at McDaniel?
Absolutely. So, I guess in a couple different ways. So, first off, as a career advisor, someone who works with students across all majors and all class years and all identities, I do my best to take that into consideration, take identities, take personalities, take skills and individual strengths and things like that um, into mind when I'm offering suggestions for students. And so on that one-on-one basis, that's where identity often comes up, making sure that students are identifying opportunities where they feel comfortable, where they feel safe, where they feel valued. So that comes up one-on-one. But then also in this role, being the lead instructor for the My Career course, trying broadly to share resources with students related to diversity, equity, and inclusion is also a big part of my role here as well.
How do you think, put some viewpoints of how you think it's also important for workplaces and also just in general around the world and not just in college, how important it is to have diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Oh, absolutely, yes. So we kind of approach this from two different ways, multiple different ways. So one way we approach the conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion with employers when we are having these conversations, because we recognize it's one thing for us to be talking about this at McDaniel, it's another thing to be bringing this to outside stakeholders. So oftentimes when we are chatting and learning from recruiters, one way the conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion comes up is just based on values, company values, organizational values, kind of that humanistic approach to the conversation. How do you value and appreciate people for who they are and what they bring? So there's that kind of personal touch to this conversation. For some employers, for some industries, that language, that approach doesn't seem to resonate. It doesn't seem to go anywhere. So when we're having those conversations with those types of folks, sometimes we have to flip the narrative and really make it about the numbers, about the statistics, about how more diverse teams are statistically able to make more profit. And for me personally, that's a little tough because I don't want to focus on profit all the time. But at the end of the day, if people are getting the message that diverse teams are more productive, are more inclusive, are more, generate better connections with their customer base, then I guess that's one way to advance the conversation as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Richard Smith, the Associate Provost for Equity and Belonging here at McDaniel College.
What's more important to you when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion? Because I know that you're the VP of it, so how important it is to you?
Well, it's extremely important because I think diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice impacts all of our lives. It's important for us to recognize and celebrate our diversity. It's very important to make sure that we have practices and policies that are equitable. And it's extremely important that each member of this community feels included as we work towards justice.
What made you want to work here at McDaniel and be the VP and the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion? What made you want to do that?
Sure. Well, I'm not the VP yet. I'm working towards that.
Okay.
But I actually went to McDaniel class of 2000, and one of the things that I wanted to do was come back and to be a mentor, to be someone who would help support students who were like me. When I was here, there weren't really many people that was like me, who was first generation, who came from where I came from. And I wanted to come back and try to give back and be that for other students. So that is really what brought me back, and I originally came back as a professor in the sociology department.
Part of something like the diversity, equity, and inclusion, how do you think that can impact the real world now and in the future generations?
Yeah, what you find in our world is that we're more globalized, we're more intercultural, and we're going to interact with many different people than we're used to. So for us to have a greater understanding of how to interact, how to be a community, I think will go a long way. In fact, many studies even today show that businesses do better when they're able to focus and understand diversity and to champion diversity initiatives as well.
Hi, my name is Kate Pickersgill. I'm a junior at McDaniel College. I work for the Office of Residence Life, the Center for Experience and Opportunity as an ambassador, Conference and Auxiliary Services, and I'm also the Pan-Hellenic President. I'm a member of Alpha Sigma Tau sorority.
How do you think diversity, equity, inclusion at McDaniel College, how do you think it like influences you or also impacts you and other students?
I think it influences me because I want to try and make sure whatever I'm doing, everyone feels welcome to join in or that their voice is being heard and that they're being equally represented.
How do you think it helps different students that have, you know, different cultures, different backgrounds, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think things like the study abroad aspect of CEO really helps to immerse students who are from different cultures or parts of the world. Like I know we have students from Budapest, we have students from France, things like that. I feel like they're very integrated and we kind of get to learn from them as well, and we showcase their cultures, they get to learn a little bit from us. And then I feel like in terms of diversity, the school does a really good job with things like the EDGE program and just trying to make sure everyone's voices are heard and cultures are represented. So things like Out of the Darkness, it was really a celebration of culture, religion from every student organization on campus or anyone who felt like they wanted to participate and showcase, hey, this is who I am and this is where I come from.
How do you think diversity, equity, and inclusion, like how do you think those terms like correlate or like reflects with social media or just like in general with the real world?
I feel like more so recently we've been trying to showcase diverse voices, stories, and language. So now I feel like when I turn on the TV, I see a commercial that showcases everyone from different race, ethnicity, religion, and it's not like how it used to be, let's say 5-10 years ago, where you would maybe see just people of one race, religion, or ethnicity. Everyone is more represented, things are more balanced, integrated, and it's totally not uncommon to see that. Like that's the norm now.
What do you think the future will hold with like still having it be more diverse, more, you know, how do you think the future will be for, you know, the next generation after us?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll be a lot more open and accepting to new ideas and opportunity, especially now we're creating more roles in society to kind of help underprivileged communities that might not have been getting that attention in the past. And we're really going to try and showcase these stories that haven't been told, raise awareness, and help each other out more so than we have.